Alright, you guys, so as you may know, DarrellJohnson is now on TashaK's radar, and if you're not new to these streets, you know that he's been a bit suspect from jump. Let's take a look back down memory lane at his interview with Don Lemon, and I just want to point out a few things. Listen up.
Joining me now is DarrellJohnson, a publicist for R. Kelly. I'm so glad to have you here. Thank you. The world is fascinated with this story, and we appreciate you joining us here this evening. So let's talk about today. The mother of Jocelyn Savage said that she is pleading for a face-to-face interview with you to arrange it between her daughter.
Well,
you say that could happen as early as this week?
it could happen if all the terms are met.
So can you tell us what the conditions are? What are the conditions?
Based on the last meeting, I heard that happen. It turned out pretty bad.
About to call him.
Please answer that if you don't answer.
He's about to.
Her name's April. It's one.
Who is April? Joy. Joy. Please.
Who is April?
Please. It's here. Please.
Who is April? Okay.
Please tell the truth.
Jay, why are you trying to call
Who
her?
is April?
Jay, you tell him don't try.
Who is April?
Who is April? So you had sex with her. Who is April? Is that one of his girls too? I only had sex with one person. That's Who is April? Oh my God.
So R. Kelly made you have sex with another girl? Let me call this.
Who is April? I'll curse his ass out.
He made you have sex with another girl?
He did not make me have sex with her.
You wanted to have sex with her?
No, I didn't. Oh my God.
Let's continue.
Okay.
So I want something contained. We'd have maybe one camera, a mediator, not to just let them do what they do, and someone to sit and just listen. And when it's over, perhaps interview each participant there and say, you know, what did you get out of it? And then, you know, everybody got what they wanted.
I wanted to get that out of the way because that's the newest piece of information in this, is at the meeting, because there are two families here who've been saying that their daughters are being held hostage.
First up, let's just correct that. Your daughter was able to come home, and you manipulated the situation trying to create an intervention and ruin your entire visit. Let's be clear. Same thing with Azriel. The reason that the relationships were tarnished with their parents, which they both stated, was because of their parents' reactions, their attitudes as of lately, not because of their relationship all along. Let's be clear. When the money dried up, the relationship went downhill.
You've reached out to one family. The other family, well, you reached out to both. The other family you're trying to get in touch with to arrange a meeting as well.
I'll get in touch with them tomorrow.
Okay. He's facing 10 charges of aggravated criminal sexual abuse. It's after 2 decades, Darrell, of constant accusations. These women are lying?
I'm not calling anybody a liar. What I would say is to those people who have brought the facts, their attorneys, present your facts, and Mr. Kelly will have his day in court. Now, if I was a judge, me personally.
Now I want y'all to pay close attention to this piece right here. Nobody even asked you what you would or wouldn't do if you were a judge, but just pay attention to what he is saying, y'all, because he said what he said, okay? He said what he said.
And I thought a guy was a known pedophile over the last 30 years. Why is probation even on the table? If this guy is a known pedophile, if he's holding these people hostage, why haven't the doors be kicked in?
Well, I mean, I think that's a legal process. I don't think that speaks to guilt or innocence.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if a judge over these years thought that this is what it was, you got enough to indict, just have zero bond.
I mean, did y'all just hear that? Let's run it right back.
Over these years thought that this is what it was, you got enough to indict, just have zero bond.
Now, y'all tell me, what kind of suggestion would that be to make as a freaking crisis manager? Sir, you done created a crisis. He knew exactly what he was doing. They even knew exactly what they were doing when they picked him to do this interview. Because, you know, like I said, Gail is his friend. Gail is his actual friend, you guys. Y'all have to remember that. And I'm not even sure if he was really hired on to this team. I mean, I feel like he was a self-proclaimed crisis manager anyway. I do understand he had a statement out that he had stepped down or whatever. But, y'all, this behooves me. You hear me? I mean, come on now. You're friends with Gail King. You already got me looking at you suspect because of that, but you couldn't get the lowdown from her what they're going to be talking about. On top of it, you shaking hands with Michael Avenatti, his sworn enemy. Quit playing with me. This was a setup. I mean, like, for real. This is an ongoing case, and you rubbing elbows with both his sworn enemies? Quit playing.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, he couldn't come up with $161,000 in child support, $100,000 in bail money, and the rest. Who came up with that money?
Let me say this first. Mr. Kelly walked into court with $60,000. It was about those children. That's what they said. He said, Judge, I have 60 grand. They said, nope, we want 161, 637, 18. That's what we want. Not a penny less. He went to jail, but it was about the kids. If it's about the kids, you can get those kids to $60,000 and then you work something out. They didn't want that.
Because it never was about the money. Duh. Like, quit playing with me. Drea, what happened to the $44 million you got in your divorce settlement that he offered to give you? Not that you asked for, he offered that up to you. And also offered to pay up child support as long as they're in school, which they weren't. Growing Up Hip Hop showed it all. Quit playing with me. You need to get on your own too, because guess what? You're riding his coattails even while he's in a jail cell. You do not have anything of your own. And even on Hollywood Exes, your complaint wasn't that he was a bad father or this big monster. It was the fact that you were living in his freaking shadow. Aren't you tired of that?
So who came up with the money?
Fans.
Fans.
Fans came up with the money.
So no one you know personally?
I don't know anybody.
He knows personally?
Yeah, plausible deniability. I know nothing.
And does he know who it is?
I don't think he knows.
Okay. So after all these years, when you think it's a remix to Ignition, all of these songs, right, that he has, R. Kelly can't come up with that amount of money?
You know what?
R. Kelly's made millions.
Michael Jackson made billions. He died broke. Whitney Houston, from what I understand, Tyler Perry had to fly her body and pay for her funeral. This is what I understand. Now, this is what I heard. And so things happen. I mean, things happen. You know, R. Kelly he said, you know, he doesn't read that well. Mm-hmm. He said that, you know, he's not the best writer.
So he mismanaged his money. He spent it all.
He said. Listen to the verbiage. As his crisis manager, you should know everything verbatim, facts. You should be speaking on his behalf, nothing but facts.
I'm not going to say he spent all people. A lot of people took advantage of him too.
Okay.
As his crisis manager, you should have said that people definitely took advantage of him. And if you don't know how to do that, if you don't know that to be true, then you need to get up out the seat, homeboy. You're not qualified for the job, period. I'm just saying.
So you set up this interview with Gayle King, and we all saw this moment right here. I want you to look at this.
Y'all killing me with this. I gave y'all 30 years. I hope this camera keep going.
No, we're gonna let the camera keep rolling.
This is not. Doesn't even make sense. Why would I hold all these?
So what do you think of that? Is R. Kelly in control of himself as this crisis person? What do you think of that moment in the interview?
Let's just look at the bigger image here. You're trying to crucify this man's image, him as a partner, him as a father, his career. Quit playing. Anybody would blow up in this instance. It's not rocket science, Don Lemon. Why would this even be a question as to why he would blow up? Who wouldn't? He has so much to lose and nothing to gain from being with underage girls. And you're still hammering these questions in like it's nothing because it's not you in the seat. And it couldn't be you because you wouldn't be able to handle it either. Let's be real. Honestly, y'all have dehumanized this situation solely because he's a celebrity.
If I was facing 7 years in the state penitentiary, I'm not going to say I would act like that, but I mean, how do you act when you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison?
Don't you mean
I thought it was a real moment.
You think that helped him?
Not
well, you know what? We'll see. At the end of the day, people are going to judge whatever they think anyway. I think the interview needed to happen. I really do believe it. And I think...
I bet you did feel like it needed to happen. You guys came in with an agenda. That's why I didn't ever trust you. Standing next to Avenatti, y'all came in to basically infiltrate. That's how I feel, and I'm just going to speak on how I feel. I can't say that it's factual, but that's how I feel. And my whole thing is, this is why Tasha is on your head in them dreads. And if what these people are saying about you is true, you deserve everything you get.
There are several things that happened that followed after that. So yes, I think it did help him. I don't think the emotions are going so high, but I think he was being himself.
I think most people are worried, like they think, gosh, what is going on? I'm just being honest. I'm not judging either way. But if I look at that, I'm going to say, man,
what
R. Kelly.
What is this smirk about? What exactly is this smirk about?
And if you're close to him, you got to be worried about him.
I'm not worried. I'm a crisis management expert. That's what I do. And so my job is to help my client navigate from point A to point Z, to help him understand what is happening.
Humor me, Mr. Johnson, please. Do tell. What have you helped Mr. Kelly with? Because all I see that you have done was create a crisis, Mr. Crisis Manager. I said before, I feel like you should have reported to Gail and had said, hey, sis, friend, what are we going to be talking about? Because, and then you could have put your client on.
We have to let the facts take us where we go. And right now, you know what, I'm not really sure. I'm hearing a lot of stuff.
So can I ask you, the Illinois State's Attorney's Office says that there has video evidence of R. Kelly.
No, word on the curb is Johnson been around this thing stealing money. And that's what Tasha about to air him out about. But hey, ain't got nothing to do with me. None of my business. But carry on.
Kelly and an underage girl, and there are people who insist it's R. Kelly on the tape and the girl.
It's called discovery. If you have the tape, release the tape and bring it out. If it's the girl that you say it is, then why is he walking around? Why was there a bond? I wouldn't have given him a bond.
And you still talking about not giving this man a bond?
Like what the hell?
Bond? I'm just a practical thinking person.
The families of all these women who say they're being held against their wills, and R. Kelly has brainwashed them into staying with him. Why would he engage in a relationship like that? Does he have any responsibility, you believe?
Let me say this to you. I've been with Mr. Kelly for 3 weeks.
You mean to tell me 3 weeks and you already doing a CNN interview for him on his behalf and messing up like this? Quit playing.
6 hours a day. I have a key swab. I can walk into his apartment when I get ready.
Say what now? A key? Do y'all hear this BS?
I take his phone at will. I go through his phone.
Do y'all hear this?
I'm with him. Half the time, he's not even there. He's playing basketball or at the cigar lounge, things that he likes to do to calm his mind. Those young ladies come freely. I'm there.
So, Darrell, you said you've been with him for 3 weeks.
He's my client. So he's my client. What I'm saying to you is,
this has been going on since the 90s. It's almost 3 decades.
I can't speak on what the 90s. I'm telling you right now what I'm dealing with.
The accusations.
The accusations is that these 2 young ladies in the home with him now are brainwashed, being held hostage, not being fed, in some black room, being told what to say. I've been there and have not seen that.
So everyone wants to know about the underage girls, right? And then he says, well, it's never, he said it wasn't underage girls, it was just he likes women, right? But Aaliyah was 15, or some folks say 14. He never addresses that. You don't address that.
I don't know Aaliyah. I wasn't around. I can't speak on something that I don't know nothing about. There's never been any criminal charges brought up him against Aaliyah. I've heard a whole lot of things about some other people.
Yeah, but you're representing him. Should you know about that?
Should I know about what?
About what happened with Aaliyah.
No, I'm not an attorney. My job is to deal with what's happening right now. I'm not going to call anybody a liar, but what I would say, my client has professed his innocence. That's what he's professed. He will have his day in court.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it, DarrellJohnson.
But you don't want him to have no bun? Sir, good day. Tasha, get his ass.